Okay, let's jump straight in with a warm-up. So this is going to be my my two-arm work before I go into my one-arm handstands for today. But I'm going to do it as like a follow-along handstand program. So jump on in. If you have a foam roller, we're going to go into some thoracic extensions. So I'm just going to start at the bottom of the rib cage. I'm going to open up as much as I can through the back. Try to move where the roller is, not where my low back is, but where the roller is, not where my neck is. Open and close as much as I can, and slowly make my way up the back. So in the session today, I'm going to go through static holds in straight, tuck and straddle, just to get my body ready for the one arms. What will be a great standalone. If you've got a freestanding hold, or I will give wall variations as well as we go. So I've opened my thoracic up over the roller going backwards, and then I'm just doing some movements forward and backwards. Starting to add in the straight arms as well. To make this harder, I can take the fingers down towards the floor, or I can take the butt towards the floor. Okay, standing up, going to a forward fold. So elbows towards the floor. If you're comfortable in this position, bouncing. Okay, then in there, the squat to open the hips up. So forward fold position, try to keep the elbows head low to the floor all the time. Okay, hip flexors, so I'm going to go up against the wall to open the rec fam up quickly. So we've got 20-30 seconds here. So trying to get the knee as close to the wall as I can, trying to open the hip up as much as I can, taking the back towards the wall. Now obviously if you need to stretch in any certain areas, then hit that first before you do your warm-up. At this type of level for the handstand, you should know what you should be stretching. So don't just work the areas that you're already nice and open in. Okay, now I'm going to move this knee further away from the wall. Then we'll go into a deeper lunge, so a much further forwards position for the lunge. Pull the hip down towards the floor, hip towards the front heel. Trying to open up as much as I can through there, lean back a little bit. Okay, same thing on the other side. So starting close to the wall first. And then moving the knee further away from the wall, turning the toes over, deeper, longer lunge, taking the hip down towards the heel. Shouldn't feel this in the low back, should all be in the hip flexor, in the quad a little bit. If you feel it in the low back, just don't arch so back so far, don't go as deep into it, squeeze the butt cheek more. Nice, okay, and then we're going to go down onto hands and knees. Warm the hands and wrists up. So index finger forward, spread the other fingers. Shoulders on top of the hands. I'm just going to do some circles. So just explore the wrists. And go in both directions. And I'm walking the hands around different positions, going into flexion extension. All the way around to the back, so fingers to the back, onto the forearm. Okay, I'm gonna do some first knuckle raises. So nice and easy, so just going for range of motion because I'm quite tight through here. So I'm not too worried about strength at the moment. I'm just gonna go range of motion. So the first knuckles, I'm gonna lift up as high as I can, slowly back down. Nice, then I'm going to shake the hands out. I'm just going to grab a box for the shoulder stretch. So you can do this up against a chair. You can do it on a floor, on the fingertips. So hips on top of knees. I'm going to tuck the towel under, so posterior tilt with the pelvis. Take the chest down towards the floor. And come back out. Now, because this is more intermediate level, I want to spend as much time as I can in the handstand. So we can obviously do lots of prep work, lots of wall drills, lots of drills to put on and off and increase the balance point. Today I just want to focus on just hanging out in the handstand. So this is going to be more conditioning holds. If you can't do the condition holds in one go, then accumulate the time. So you might just need a few sets to try and accumulate the time. If you need lots and lots of sets, then the exercise, the drill that you've picked is, or the progression is too hard. So you need to make it slightly easier. So you want to be getting at least half the time in one go. I'd say like 2 sets per time. So kicking up to handstand now. So we're just going to go straight into a straight handstand. This could be done against the wall. So you could be on and off the wall. I could kick up heels to touch the wall. And then heel pull off or step off the wall. And I'm going to accumulate 30 seconds in a straight handstand. If you have it, it will just be the same thing but kicking up in the middle of the room. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set the timer. Now the cool thing with the Apple Watch is that it vibrates on my wrist. So it's good if you want to do time, especially in a busy gym or something, or set a timer so it beeps. So I prefer that over looking at a timer, but that's one option, is to have the clock between your hands and look at the timer as you go. So 30 seconds on the clock. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Timer's on. So as this is first handstand of the day, I'm going to just feel it out, just pushing up, making sure I'm in a good, straight, strong position, and I'm in the center of the balance, trying to be as efficient as possible. So I don't want to feel like there's too many corrections. Okay, that's 30 seconds, so I'm going to come back down. Now, for the rest, I'm just going to take a 30-second rest. Now, obviously, if you need more, take longer, but I'm going to sit down in the straddle position. So I've got a cushion to sit on because I haven't done any straddle stretching yet, just to make it a little bit easier. If you're tighter in this position, then obviously have more mats. So just spending some time in straddle. So because I've only done a 30-second hold, I'm going to go and only sit in a straddle for 30 seconds, then go back into my next handstand. So again, this is going to be a straight handstand, but I'm going to look through. So instead of looking down at the floor, I'm going to look through. We can do this against the wall. Now, if you didn't get the 30 seconds in looking down at the floor, I'd recommend that you keep working on that and don't do the head yet until you can consistently get the 30 seconds. So same again as before, tuck the head if you can. So 30 seconds of work. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Time is on. And time. Okay, and then slowly back down. Okay, because I'm going to progressively now get a little bit harder with this, I'm going to take a longer rest. So we're going to go back into that straddle stretch again, but now I'm going to have a minute's rest. So this time I'm going to move around a little bit more. So up and down. I'm going to go to the sides. So taking the chest towards the knee, head towards the toe. Okay, so that's a minute. So I'm going to come back out again. Okay, this time I'm going to do the same thing. So straight, last hold, 30 seconds. If I can, I'm going to look up towards the ceiling. So I'm looking up to the ceiling or try and look at your toes. Same thing, if you can't get the 30 seconds looking away, I wouldn't recommend you do your longer holds trying to look at the toes yet. If you can't look away and you can't look at your toes, keep looking at the floor, get your 30 seconds there first. If it's working on and off the wall, that's fine, just accumulate the time. Okay, so let's have a go. 30 seconds is on the clock, let's go now. And time. Okay, resting again. This time into Pike Stretch. So same as before, but now legs together. So I'm going to continue with the minute rest now, because we should be warmed up. Now obviously if you're struggling with any of these, just take a longer rest. Take more time, do the wall variations. Next shape is straddle. So we have some options with the straddle. We can go in a super wide position, we can go in a half straddle, we can go in a small straddle. So small straddle is as wide as you can take your legs, without the hips flexing, so not going into pike position with the hips. Then your big straddle is as wide as you can go when your hips close, so when you have some pike in the hips. And then your half straddle is around shoulder width apart. So if your goal is to go to one arms, they're good positions and shapes to know, because you can train them individually and they work different things. Okay, that's a minute rest in our pike. So going into the straddle, so I'll quickly just demonstrate the wall version. So if you are doing the wall, a couple of options, we can go chest to wall or back to wall. So if I'm going to go back to wall, hands nice and close, into a big straddle, taking the butt back towards the wall. And now I can butt bounce on and off, or use my fingertips to heel pull off and get as much freestanding time there as I can. So I would stick with that one at the moment. If you're doing the wall variation, if you're doing the freestanding, then same thing. Just go nice and wide into your widest straddle position first. Okay, 30 seconds of work. Time is on. And done. So I'll make the pike stretch a little bit more interesting now by adding a load. So going into like the bottom of the Jefferson curl. So I'm going to grab myself a box and a barbell. So depending on your history with the pike stretch, have you done loaded Jefferson curl before, would determine whether you use the weight, how much you push this one. I'm really comfortable here, I've done lots of reps before. So I'm going to do 30 seconds of time down in that bottom position. So here we go, as deep as I can. Nice, and then come back out. Okay, next one I'm going to go is I'm going to go into my half straddle position. So this is the one that's shoulder width apart. So same deal up against the wall. You can go back to wall. This one you probably don't need to have so much butt on the wall because the hips aren't going to pike so much. But same thing, you're going to kick up, take the feet shoulder width apart, and then see if you can heel pull on and off the wall like you did with the freestanding straight hold. So lock the knees, a little bit of an external rotation, open the legs out, shoulder width apart. So 30 seconds again. Timer is on, off we go. And time back to straight before you come down. Nice. Okay, I'm going to go back into that Jefferson curl, or the bottom of the Jefferson curl, forward fold position, because I want to keep opening my hips up, especially for the tuck handstands we're going to do next. I'm going to go between the bottom forward fold position and the squat with the weight. So this one I'm going to do a minute of time. So I'm going to put the timer on now as I pick the weight up. So my timer has started for the minute. Down into the bottom position as deep as I can to that forward fold. Now I'm going to go into the squat. A little bit of time there and then go between the two. So back to the straight position, Nice and deep. Back to the squat, trying to keep as deep as I can, but trying to get the butt to the heels at the same time. Okay, that's 60 seconds. So I'm going to come back out there. So into the tuck hold next. So again, we got options. We can go chest to wall, back to wall, or freestanding. So if I'm going to go back to wall with this one, I'm going to take the butt towards the wall, try and pull down as deep as I can. So legs squeezed together, toes pointed, looking down towards the floor while doing a handstand. Slide the feet down, point the toes, keep pulling down as deep as I can while trying to keep the shoulders away from the wall. So that would be the back to wall version, okay? Chest to wall would be the same. Hands around this way. It's a little bit demanding on the flexibility, this one. So trying to get as deep as I can, trying to keep those shoulders in the same place. And hold there. Now that one I probably could have gone a little bit closer with the hands, but it would have really pushed me that way. That's a lot more demanding. You can hear I'm out of breath with that one. That's more demanding from a flexibility point of view. Because I'm doing one arms today, I'm going to do the freestanding version, which is actually easier once you've got the balance. So I'm just going to hang out in the deepest tuck I can, trying to pull down. 30 seconds is the goal. Okay, so 30 seconds of work in that tuck handstand. 3, 2, 1, time is on. Ideally going from straight into it. Once you've done the 30 seconds or the time you're doing, return back to your straight handstand. And time, so back to straight, show control, good position, come back down. Okay, so I'm going to stop there now with the two arm work. I'm going to start warming up and go into my one arm work. So that's going to finish the YouTube video for today. If you have any questions or comments, stick them down below. Subscribe and thumbs up would be appreciated. If there's any particular videos you'd like, give me a shout, give me a DM, or stick it in the comments, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks, guys.